Just get off your own back a little bit
Yeah.
about it not being perfect, about none of it being perfect.
I'm Lisa Perry. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So the first thing is, well, you're a mom of two.
Yes.
And how old are they?
They are 16 and 19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, great ages. Great ages.
Awesome. So honestly, a lot of relatability for you. Do you want to talk about that?
I played a mom on The Sopranos long before I was a mom. So mostly you're going from imagination and having been a child and all that stuff. And there really is nothing that compares to the reality and just how your cellular DNA changes once you become a mom. It's just different. It's there is nothing more important or more prescient, when you become a mom. Uh, so yes, it is relatable. The level at which you can be concerned about, worry about your kids' welfare, all that stuff is on a level that I don't think I could really understand until I had kids of my own.
So out of all the films you could executive produce, because I'm sure you were handed a lot of options, why this film?
Because I think it was simple. I think it was, it's not earth shattering. It's not about, superheroes or people who've done amazing feats. It's just about a woman trying to manage her life when she's not, she's not a kid anymore. She has kids of her own. The world is changing so rapidly. And how do you manage what your kid wants with what you want for them? And I mean, all those things that we ask ourselves as parents.
Yes, we do.
Yes, indeed. Every single.
I've got a 18 and 19-year-old. So I'm in the same 21 part, but yeah, same,
Wow.
but similar to
you. Two kids, 18 and 19?
Huh?
Wow.
Okay. So, but they're right at that age, right? Similar to yours, where they're starting to make decisions, and there's that, and that's one of the things that really gripped me when you say, your character says, this is what I wanted. Why does it have to be more?
Yeah.
And so do you feel that way? Do you feel like you have to defend, or you have to, your choices?
Well, you're constantly having to check in with yourself about, you're presented with a decision, let's say a job, and you very quickly mull it over. I could do that and go out of town for that thing, or I could, and some of the most rewarding stuff I've experienced over the last, I don't know, decade or so or more has involved family stuff. I mean, I have to say, I don't know that I knew that it would be quite like that. I thought you have your career and you have your family, and they're both important, and they are both important, but they shift importance as the years go by, as I change, as the world changes. And there was a period of time where I felt like I had to kind of answer for that, and I'm very pleased that I no longer feel that way. My choices are my choices. If people want to know why, that's fine. I'm happy to say, but I don't have to answer to anybody but myself these days. And life goes by quickly. We're here very briefly, and ideally you're listening to your insides about what is important, and that changes over time.
It's funny, you just said, you're not flashy. This isn't flashy. This is just, and what we're seeing with the moms is there's the anti-flash. It's the real, and you don't want to feel alone.
Yeah.
That you're sharing this experience. Do you feel that yourself as a mom?
Well, yeah, I do. What has been most meaningful to me in the last bunch of years is coming in contact with friends, either old friends or new people I've met that are going through similar chapters in their parenting. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the stuff that goes on with kids these days is it's not the stuff that I went through as a kid. So I'm feeling like, is it because am I doing this wrong, or is there something particular about my kids? And the more you talk, you find this in not just with parenting. But the more you talk to people, the more you realize you're really not that special. You know what I mean? That what you're going through, a lot of people are going through. And I find great comfort in that. And it gets to the point where you have to kind of seek that out. There is support in numbers, and you don't have to do this alone, that you can, even just talking it over with other people going through it, you find, I don't know, I find strength in that.
Absolutely. Everything about I'll Be Right There spoke that to me the whole time I was watching. The concept of picking up your phone every single time. This fear, this instinctual fear that you said one thing that was very, God, it actually, I started crying because I'm the sandwich generation. I don't know if you are, but I'm 53. And so I've got parents in their early 80s and I've got my 18, 19-year-old. And you said, who will do it if I don't?
That's it, isn't it?
And I
Yeah.
got to tell you, I just started sobbing.
Uh,
That feeling of just, so we have something called Anonymous Moms, and you can post in the group anonymously. If you were going to post an anonymous post and you were going to share something that you wanted input on, I know I'm just throwing this out, what would it be? What would your anonymous post be?
oh gosh, there are a million of them, that I don't think we always like our kids. I mean, that's a big one. Like, of course you always love them, but there are days where I think, like, if this person was in my life as an outsider, I would not keep it that way. You know what I mean? I would never let somebody talk to me that way and treat me so disrespectfully. It's a definite part of the process of being a teenager in relationship to your parent. I understand that intellectually,
Mhm.
but there are days when I'm just not feeling the ability to separate myself and say, oh, this is normal, and it just hurts.
Yeah.
And so there are days where you're like, yeah, I don't want that person in my life right now. You know what I mean? And something about
Oh,
saying that, it
this
passes.
morning, you mean?
That's right. Exactly. The feeling passes, and that person is in my life forever. But to be able to admit that, there are days where I don't know, I'm not feeling it. I think to have to constantly admit that, yes, you love my children, I like my children. I think there are days when it's not true. And I think it will change over time. But I
Yeah.
don't know, it's important to say that for me.
This, this, yeah, it's, I think that is why I loved this film so much, and why it said the things we think, it showed the things we feel,
Mhm.
and it was a perfect display of the reality. And I'm very grateful for it, because I've got to tell you, especially Gen X, we're stuck right in the middle of all that.
Yep.
And the mother too, right?
Right.
So the giving respect that they have decisions to make. So have you pulled, obviously, clearly from your own children.
Right.
Um, what about the mother relationship? What do you think of, how did that resonate with you?
Well, my parents are gone. They've been gone for a while, but there was a period of time with younger kids and older parents where, and it is really like, if not me, then who? Because of those age groups, I am the most capable at the moment. I have the most resources mentally, and I don't think there is a way to do it uh, completely gracefully. I think you just do the best you can under each circumstance, but you got to be okay with none of it being perfect. That's for sure. I mean, just a mess, trying to deal with parents and their needs, and, are they safe at home, and all those horrible questions. And knowing that there's a kid who, whatever, you have to get their, the cake for the fundraiser, and the little, they have to bring a bag of 100 things. And I'm thinking, okay, I have to do, just all, and it's always a mess. But I think you have to be okay with the messiness of all of it, and just get off your own back a little bit
Yeah.
about it not being perfect, about none of it being perfect. And to know that you're not the only one going through this. Everybody's, you know, a kind of a messy person trying to hold it all together. And I don't know. I,
Spot on.
I am naive enough to think that as long as you're able to just make sure they know that you love them as best you can, that's going to take the whole thing a long way, you
Yeah.
know. You can do as much as you can with love, then the rest are just details and less important, I hope.
It's funny. Did you help shape the character? Was the character written the way you portrayed, or did you help shape that? Because your concept of parenting and that character are like one and the same in a lot of ways.
Well,
So I'm
I
curious.
didn't change a lot. I didn't. The script is pretty much as written, but that might be why I responded to it. Why I read it and thought, yeah, I would like to be this person and show people because I understand it.
Yeah.
I relate to it and I judge myself for it. But what if I put it out there and see if other people are going through something like this too? So I found it useful in that way to feel like, oh, okay, I think maybe since this person wrote it, this must exist elsewhere, not just in my house.
A- Absolutely. I mean, and that's why it takes a lot to when, parenting and working to get me to sit down and watch a film and
Yeah.
actually with ADHD not click on a million other
Of
things
course, of course.
and technology. And I was glued and then shushed my children, my dog, my husband while I was watching. And I do firmly believe that it'll get legs. And I think the mission of Annapolis Moms and everything that we do is we just did our cover is Women at the Helm 104 strong, amazing women, the head of the Naval Academy and St. John's and all these.
Wow.
Yeah. And I thought you were at the helm because it's representing we're moms, we're badasses,
Right,
and we can be both and also cry in the corner.
right,
And
right,
I don't think that's always reflected. And we're trying
right.
to do more of that. And I'm glad that they tapped me for this because I was like, oh, this is amazing.
Mhm.
It's good to be reflected, especially the older we get. I feel like we disappear.
Yeah, oh, God, yes.
So
Mhm.
do you want to talk about it that? I don't know if you want to, but I
Uh,
feel like moms disappear. We're supposed to be looking on television like this perfect mom. And
right.
even when they're not perfect, you're weirdly perfect for an unperfect person. Um,
Mm.
so I don't know if you wanted to, you don't have to, but it
Well,
just,
no, it's just that, well, as you grow up, I don't know, part of our culture or whatever, many women, people are looking outside to try to find out who they are. Like, tell me how to feel about myself, I want to see myself reflected. And as the years have passed and I've become more, um, just solidly inside myself,
Mhm.
I'm not looking out there anymore. I'm going according to, I know what feels right. I know what is right. You can tell now I've got a much stronger internal sense of if I'm off the mark. And I just feel much more solidly inside myself as far as knowing that the way I handle things isn't always perfect, but knowing that at each turn I did my best. And if I had to do it again, I might do it differently. I mean, all that stuff. I've gotten off my back a little bit, and that's just a huge relief. I hope I continue to get better because there's still distance to go there. But yeah, I don't care so much about the way people are portrayed or whatever. I do know that when making every decision for my kids, for my life, I spend time, however, internally thinking like, no, this one doesn't feel as good, but I know this one's right, and this is what I've got to do. So yeah, I'm feeling more secure in the decisions I make.
that's amazing. Getting off my back.
So there is huge, huge.
I mean, don't we wish we were doing that 30 years ago?
Yeah, my God. I wish someone had said, that nobody does this perfectly. Nobody does. And the biggest hurdle I've had throughout this whole thing is just that, doing the best you can and moving to the next, not spending time beating yourself up. Oh, well, look at this one's family, and how does this one stay so healthy when she's doing, whatever, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Huge waste of energy. And I
Yeah.
feel it
That's,
falling away, and I'm grateful for that.
yeah. Well, I mean, the end of the film ended exactly that way, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
was, this is what I want,
yeah.
unapologetically.
Right. This is what I want, and this is how it got that way because it's what I
Yeah.
want. People
Love
will
it.
whatever feelings they have about it. It's not my business.
Not
Yeah.
your problem. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Is there any other takeaway?
We're getting further and further away from, family, loved ones being the center of people's lives. I think growing up, Sunday meals with my family, and we just so, those things are not as important as they once were. And I think we're all suffering because of it. So if people have even the smallest inclination to want to be with their loved ones, as opposed to, I don't know what, taking another class or, exercising or whatever, if what you want to do is be with the people you love, you know, I don't know. I don't know there's anything more important. So
I don't think so either. I mean, that's my mission every day, right? So I love that that's yours also. And you'll be at the film festival on Saturday.
right.
Thank you so much. Have a great rest of your day with the kiddos.
You too.
All
Thank
right,
you.
thanks. Bye.
Bye.